What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Trademark Flying Solo. We are live at the Roofing Process Conference, the 6th annual one, hosted by LB Capital. Lance Bachman and his crew, awesome folks. They've put on, honestly, a remarkable event. Just such a great event. Great speakers, great accommodations. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. Sarah's in a session right now listening to the speakers, so I'm flying solo, and I got Josh Taylor with me from Roofing Pups. Josh, how are you doing?
Good, man. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know that you work with Lance and Bill and them at LB Cap. So just tell me a little bit more about yourself and about Roofing Pups and kind of what you guys got going on.
Yeah, sure. So I'll tell you a little bit about me. I've been in home services for about 12 years now. A little bit of a unorthodox start. So got into business out of necessity. I was actually an ER nurse, and my wife was in grad school at the time. And, it was just a way I picked up a power washer and started washing houses on the weekend just to make a little extra money. So, it didn't take long. I'm like, man, on a Saturday, Sunday, I'm making as much as I'm making in 2 weeks as a nurse. So put a business, plan together, and, I started doing more power washing than nursing. Went part-time with the nursing, and then slowly just left it all together. And really, for the longest time, though, was more of just an owner-operator. Didn't know anything about business. Thought I had a business, but really just essentially replaced that job with a new one. So it wasn't until I hired a business coach about 3 years in that things started to change. Hired my first couple employees, started to put systems and processes in place. Fast forward now, we've got 3 locations, 40 plus employees. I'm completely hands off. I've got a team of directors that run the company. We've run EOS. I don't know if you're familiar with that entrepreneurial operating system. And so I found myself in a position, 4 kids now, had a little bit more time on my hands. I was on vacation with my dad and my brother. And my dad was like, man, he's been in doors and windows, so exterior remodeling for years, since 94. He's like, I'd love to sell the company, retire at some point. And, we had to have like a real honest conversation. I was like, well, Dad, it's kind of only you, right? Like, no one's going to buy a company that is, one employee. So he said, well, why don't we try to grow it and scale it and partner with me? Kind of like you did with the power washing company. I said, dude, that sounds great. Let's do it. I said, let's get my brother involved. So my brother left his corporate job at Costco, great sales guy, systems, processes. So we got into roofing because I told him, I said, look, if we're going to do this, we got to get into roofing and siding, right? So that's where the money's at. We were doing a lot of doors and windows originally. And, the first year, so this was 2000, it's 24 now, 2022, middle of 2022, we partnered. And we took his company. He was doing about 900 in revenue. We took it to about 3.2 million in 1 year.
Wow.
And then, I'm talking to Lance. Lance and I have been partners for a long time. Our boys wrestle together and stuff. And he's like, man, you should see what I'm doing with LB Capital. And I'm growing up roofing companies. I was like, really? No shit. I was like, well, let's talk. So I went up, hung out with him, and kind of laid out the plan to me. Basically, multiple arbitrage, trying to build value by rolling the companies together, leveraging, the systems and processes that they know that work. He had already actually exited to private equity, so kind of had the proof of concept, knew what he was doing. And, I talked to my dad and my brother, and we're like, look, what will take us the next 5 years to accomplish, we can probably do with Lance in 2 to 3.
Yeah.
And cut to the front of the line in a lot of ways. So here we are 6 months later. We've partnered. We rebranded from what the company was originally Airtight Exteriors. And now we're Roofing Pups, and we're having a freaking blast, dude. It's amazing. Ton of growth. It's been fun, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. All right. So you are everything up to here. Now you're with Roofing Pups. I guess just tell me a little bit more, because I know that you guys have a really big vision for Roofing Pups.